Shalom. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who does lead and rule well. I want to say salutations and shalom to all you hopeful like Akim pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And sincere shalom also to you Akim and Akwaf that's listening and learning, preparing yourselves here in these last days. All right, that's to the entire household of faith that's fighting this good fight of faith. Again, to you all I want to say shalom. This is your brother Daquar from the DC camp. Come back at you another lesson. And I'm going to title this one, The Importance of Camp. Because you got these people on the internet that pretty much try to downplay or you know, put a negative light on these camps. Maybe because they had a bad experience when they were once in the camp, or, you know, simply they just want to do things on their own, man. But there's a reason why the Lord places us men into a body, you know, into a camp. All right. That's a spiritual thing. You know, a lot of people want the kingdom. They want wisdom and understanding, man. You know, they say they want to please the Lord, but they don't really want to go through the process that the Lord used or set up, you know, to produce those things, man. You know, and one of the main tools that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai used to build men up is through the congregation, man. Because that's really what the church is, man. It's just the congregation, the camp, the body. That's what it is, man. You're not going to sit up here and just learn on your own. That's not how the Lord set it up. He got certain spirits and placed certain men around you to teach you and correct you, to sharpen you, you know, and give you an example of who or how, you know, to follow. You know, it's where we pretty much grew up into men in these camps, man. You go from a student to a teacher, or a follower to a leader, man. So this is where and how the Lord shapes the servants of his servants. So, you know, Lord's willing, this lesson may be edifying, man. Let me first start at Romans 10, and I'm just trying to see what scripture I want to start at. All right, I'm going to just start right at the point. This is Romans 10 and 14. It says, "How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher?" And it says, "And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things." All right. So you can't just say all you need is the Bible. All you need is the Holy Spirit. You don't need teachers, because that's how you're going to learn. Except, let me see that. It's another one in Acts. Man. I don't know why it's not popping up. Yep. It wasn't teach, that's why. This is Acts 8 and verse Acts 8 and 29. It says, "Then the Spirit said unto Philip, Go near and join thyself to this chariot. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. All right. So if Philip was actually taught, you know, this is a spiritual book. And you have to be led by the Spirit, and the Lord put the Spirit on certain men to be able to teach that. You know, don't get it confused where it says you have the Spirit, and and you need no man that roughly paraphrasing, to teach you. You know, because then you'll be confusing yourselves in the scriptures, man. All right, because how do you know that that's the right spirit, man? It said, how shall they hear without a preacher? So the Lord sends his particular teachers that, like I said, the spirits of the prophets is subject to the prophets. He sends his shepherds, his watchmen. He has appointed and ordained teachers for this, man. That's going to teach you and feed you with knowledge and understanding the way that he intended it to be. This is Ephesians 4 in verse 11. It says, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach Yahushua. So this is why he brought. This is why, like I said, this is the importance of the camp. This is why you have a camp. Just like they got you go to church, except this actually does the work. It fulfills those purposes. It said the perfecting of the saints, which means what? What perfecting means to equip, to train, to restore and make complete. That's what it means, man. We're not born spiritually mature, especially here in Babylon, man. We wasn't taught these things. We got to learn doctrine. Even brothers that's more experienced, you still got to keep growing, man. You got certain leaders and men, over you to help correct your certain behaviors, certain errors they might see in you, and help strengthen your faith. That's what it's for. Proverbs 9:9 says, give instruction to a wise man and he will be yet wiser. Okay. It also says for the work of the ministry. It's not just a place that you just, you just show up. It's a place to labor. That's a labor. It's us showing, making our bodies a living sacrifice, man. So once you actually properly trained up in the doctrine, now you become a part of the work. Or you add to the work. Now you start the teaching, and now you help them build others up, man. Defending the doctrine. You exhorting, you preaching, you teaching, man. Everybody got a role in this body. And then it says what? For the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. And what does edify means? Again, it means to build up. All right. So we grow as a whole and we become stronger. Let me read. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 13 says, till we all come, Ephesians 4:13, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Hamashiach. Here's the point. From whom, verse 16, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, and according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. All right. So every member supplies something, man. Why the Lord give us leaders, man? For the perfecting of the saints, man. To prepare you for the work. and to build up the body until it reaches spiritual maturity, man. That's what it's about. So during this wait period, we have a task that was given to us, man. You know? And we have the opportunity to emulate. The scriptures say, mark the perfect man. You know? The Lord put examples right in front of us, man. Not to be idolized, you know, but just as examples so that you can observe them, so you can learn from them. This is men whose faith you can follow. You look at the Apostle Todd, he said, going on 40 years, man. The Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, Apostle Ramlab, the bishops, the other elders, the elders in your camp. You know? You look at them and be like, man, because hey, if you in this thing, you know it's a tough thing to be in this truth. You know? We deal with certain things that majority of the world doesn't deal with, man. All right. Let me go to the next scripture. I think I want. Where is that? I think it's. Okay, I was in the wrong one. All right, this is Romans 11. I started 13. It says, "For I speak to you Gentiles, and as much as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them." All right, because we come in to say, teaching to the Israelites. So you want them to emulate, you know, to save some of them, you know. So people often learn by seeing, man. That's just a way that people. Not everybody learns the same, but a lot of people learn by just visualizing it. You know, they got to see it. You know, so when people seen Paul's faith, his labor, his sacrifice, you know, and seeing the wisdom and his endurance, man, it will provoke them to do likewise. Even in, you know, you got GMS, Great Millstone, you got these other camps, man. You know, but you know, some of them, you know, hate on us and everything, but we still doing the work. That you know, and they still watching. You know, you even got people that be on the, you know, on the streets. They see us out there through, you know, all the weather, in season and out of season, man. Who knows if that might, you know, provoke one of them to, you know, start. Hey, I see your dedication. You know, like what are y'all about? You just never know, man. But they're able to see righteousness in action, man. I already quoted this one, Psalm 37 and 37. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. So marking means to observe him, study him, you know, watch him. There's nothing wrong with that. If you see greatness, you want to emulate greatness if that's what you're trying to get to, right? You know, think of it in sports. You study the greats, right? Or music. You get to see how people respond under pressure, you know, how they answer certain questions, how someone handles correction. A lot of us coming from the world and not having fathers, some people, they can't handle correction, man. But you see it. That's why I said we became men in this thing, man. You see it. How you supposed to deal with certain things, man. How you deal with different adversity when the different tests come. You remain faithful. You able to get through it. These are certain things you learn firsthand in these camps, man, that the world don't see, and so they don't see how you getting built up. You start to see how certain men lead, how they serve. Come on, man. This is Philippians 3. In verse 17, it says, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an example. All right. It says, for many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Hamashiach. So Paul was instructing them to watch righteous examples, man. That's the camp. You surrounded by the examples. You see it in the videos, and then you see it firsthand in your actual respective camp. You got some examples that show you what to do, and they also tell you what not to do. So you got men that can guide you and be like, yeah, they sound good, but this is what they doing. This is what they going off at, blah blah blah. So now you can see what not to do. So you're not led astray. Right? Paul, he said, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. All right? So the thing, the moral of the story is get around great men. The quality of the men that you are around often becomes or determines what you become. Like they say, you are the company you keep. This is Proverbs 13 and verse 20. It says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. All right. So we want to be around wise men. So your association matters, man. Sirach 6:36. If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. So you got access to great men. You see men and you just look at them as men, but the Lord is dealing with these men. You younger men, you should be trying to get with these more experienced men, so that you know how to better walk in this walk, and you can build up your faith. And I'm talking about not just at camp, outside of camp too. But you gotta be willing to. You gotta ask, not just wait for brothers, and then see what happens, man. But you can't become what you never see, man. All right. Scriptures say, be continually with a godly man. Influence matters, man. People think that you in the world all the time, and you think that's not rubbing off, like it's not influencing you in any way. As young, you need examples, man. I'm gonna get Titus. He sent him to help build up the churches. Titus 2 and verse 6. It says, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, and sincerity. It says, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. So, excuse me. A pattern is just something that somebody can follow, man. And they should be able to see your discipline, your faith, your patience, man, and wisdom. This is why the camp is so important, because they seeing it played out live in real life, man. So look, we got eyes on us. You always, in these camps, you got people watching you, man. All right. Also, you just got leaders that can watch over you, man. Hebrews 13 and 17, it says, obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. Okay? So you got leaders that watch over the flock, and you got younger brothers also watching the leaders, man. So somebody is always learning from your example, whether you realize it or not. So you have a sense, you should have a sense of duty and responsibility. All right. Ezekiel 3:17, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. So you there for protection, but also guidance, man. All right. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. You see? So you got to be around each other for that to happen. You know, sharpening requires contact. So does correction. So does, growth. If you just isolate it, then that's just going to prevent your growth, man. So a lot of times nobody see their own flaws, man. But when you in the body, it helps reveal that. You just by yourself, or you don't want to go through the appropriate protocols to join the camp, then you only harming yourself. That's why I said it's unprofitable for you, man. You know, the Lord. Let me get that. I think it's I think this is it. Give me a second here. Nah, that wasn't it. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 4 and verse 9. It says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. All right. So again, that's why the body is important, man. And every member of the body is important. No one man has every single gift or all understanding. You can't fulfill every office on your own. It's just not possible. So that's what the body is for. And the Lord expects everybody in the body to do their part. And that's when you're gonna aid that's that light that's not gonna be under a bushel. It's gonna be held up on a hill. You know? I'll get that and I'll close. This is 1 Corinthians 12. I think it's 21. I'm gonna start at dang. It make me want to go back and read the whole thing, but I'm not trying to read the whole thing. I'm gonna start at 14. It says, for the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where would the smelling? But now hath the Most High set the members, every one of them, in the body as it hath pleased him. See? And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again to the head, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary, and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. All right. It says, for our comely parts have no need, but the Most High have tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacked, that there should be no schisms in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. All right, so I will keep going. It says, and whether one member suffers, all members suffer with it. One member be honored, and all members rejoice with it. Now are ye the body of Hamashiach, and the members in particular. All right, and the Most High have set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversity of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. So it's just different members, man. You know, the Most High know what He's doing, man. He set us all up in different areas. We had different experience, different talents, so it can build this particular church up. He's doing the same thing in all these different cities and states and even countries, man. You know, and that's how we, you know, now nobody can gainsay or resist. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna end it on that. You know, that's just the importance of camp, man. You know, and you can't just sit up here and say you want to be a loner. You know, because you can't say you love the Most High, but you don't love your brother, man. Because you're just gonna be a liar. All right. So camp ain't just merely about attendance, man. The purpose of camp is transformation. All right. And He allowed you to be around certain other righteous men so that you can learn how to please Him properly, man. All right. And that's built up through instruction, correction, you know, observation and emulation. All right. So, you got brothers that study a lot, that they push you to study. You know, brothers that just endure. You see their faith, it helps you to be able to endure, man. A brother that's constantly serving, you should take note of that, and you do something, man. You see a leader, it should want to push you to lead, man. You know. Sirach 6:34, I'll close on this. Stand in the multitudes of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise, man. So if you want to learn how to please the Lord, get around men that know how to please the Lord, man. It's really simple. And the Lord uses this camp to shape each individual, man. All right. Lord willing, I was edifying. To the next one, I want to say shalom.